Like, all right, shut. I'm ready to do it.
It would have been forever otherwise, you know that. We'd have been gabbing and, it'd have been 1 a.m. and I'd be like, what?
Yeah, Facebook Live.
You want to say hello, Kev?
Good evening, everybody. Here we are, nearly midnight. It's a nice, sociable time. Apologies for that. Things got a bit involved. Hope everybody's okay, doing well, joining in, having fun, living life, loving life, as Keith Little would say. I like that.
That's good mantra to have. Yeah, it don't matter where it comes from. If it's a mantra and it works and it's positive, or a reinforcement of something, then it's in.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So yeah, good evening, everybody. Good to see you. Oh, hello, got thrown out again. What's going on there?
So we are. Let's just quickly, because time is upon me here. The 21st of March, I was on a private chat with Claudio of the Silvalgi clan, the astrologer in the what would I say, the guild that we've got here, the private fam, and he's been chatting to me about certain things, and anyway, I bypass all of that. At the end, he says, "Oh yeah, 21st of March, get ready." I'm like, "Why?" And I forgot the equinox. I was tired, and it was about 11 p.m. here. He's in America, I think Florida or somewhere, sunny and nice. It looked, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the equinox." So here we are, the 21st of March, with about 5 minutes left remaining. The beginning of the next springtime zodiac procession of, the Santos has pointed out. Most of us have learnt the sine wave and the procession of the equinoxes and the relevance of the correlation of events on the realm to coincide with the astrotheological proto sciences. I think that's right. Yeah, proto is how they've taught us to once reconnect with. I don't know. It's not for everybody. It's not everyone's cup of tea and to liking. But what we've seen and found, and calendars and times, it's interesting.
Interesting, yeah, very interesting. If you can spare the time, it is very interesting. All sorts of colorations, and yeah, it all sort of adds to the mystery. But no, it's very interesting. If that's your bag, man. But yeah, very interesting nonetheless.
The first of the foxes on the equinox is his brother Kevin, and then later, if we've got time and all,
throwing me off.
We're on to a calm, positive Matthew from Chef. If he's awake still, I will try, and Kev will be waning. How these old uns get past
I'm
1 o'clock.
Sending calming vibes and chamomile tea to Matthew. Simon, hello mate. I see you in the room. Evening. Oh, got buffering going on the. Oh no, it's stopped now.
Yeah, we'll see. I've had 2 successful streams from the same handset connection, set up, everything. So it should. I don't know. Some topics seem to warrant interruption, but.
Yeah, it depends where we go, doesn't it? I think the closer we get, if we start naming entities, that's when it starts getting a bit funny, I think. Anyway, there you have it. We love it.
Some interesting messages about the internet being unlocked, and I'm like, what do you mean unlocked? And searches and so forth, and yields of on
and apologies all over the place from Facebook about posts.
Yeah, all right.
Loads of people getting apologies. We were sorry, we were wrong.
What? Go on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, straight up. I know of at least 3 personal people that can't believe it, and the last people that you'd expect, that are probably always getting bans and stuff, had apology. Yeah, loads, but it's been happening to loads of people.
Interesting.
The comments and that, yeah. Loads of posts that were normally deemed against community standards, they've all been apologised for, and so very interesting, Dave. And from reliable, the 3 people I know, reliable, absolutely 100%. Monkey Smith being one of them, actually.
Oh
Yeah. You'll know one of the others, but yeah. Then I was looking in the comments. A lot of people saying that, posts that were taken down a while ago. They've had apologies, and yeah, we were wrong about this post, which is quite strange. So alongside all the info now available, especially like the anti-vax stuff that was all being blocked and removed, that's not the case now. There's even, whereas you wouldn't get any supporting stuff through Google or that, it's literally overnight, in a split second, it's all changed. It's only I personally haven't experienced that, but I've seen people showing searches and the different, we all know what it's been like, but yeah, and agreeing with suddenly about the autism thing and the link, and which was all, basically blocked mostly.
Yeah, we continue to monitor and see what is happening.
Yeah, so as I say, that's just I'm not saying it's all definite, but from what I've seen, but these apologies, that's very weird. I think en masse it appears to be. I don't know if anybody else has come across. I don't have a lot of people that post stuff that gets them banned a lot, but these three people certainly do.
We've got a lot to focus on across numbers wise, realm wise. I don't want to get into that today. I really can't. Haven't got the energy. I just want to see. We'll read the room, so to speak. Take the energy, go with the flow on the equinox, and just know we're on the beginning of another 3 months. What did Claudio say amongst that little relevant bit there? What I wanted to get out of him is the correlation of Lilith in the sky and these names, constellations, processions, massive things going off in his realm, not towards everybody, but he's put in there the what word was it? Wait, quatrain, not quatrain. Quarantine, quadra, quarantine, 40 days, 40 nights, and we had an interesting mind meld of stars, Lilith, processions, equinoxes, 40, quat. Such things. That's why quatrain. I didn't think of that, but that's that Nostradamus' writings, is it?
Yeah.
But, I'm getting him on. He's a wealth of intricate data, numbers, time, celestial, lunar, zodiac. So glad we found him. He's a key part in to help me, you, us. Pinpoint certain things that I'm unable to, and I couldn't learn astro, theology, logics, proto. It's rather deep, but anybody could. It's not that you can't. It's just I'm not willing to apply that much dexterity in all of them areas, and I'm novice. Okay, it's one area that I'm very novice in, but the Zeus and the Mars and the planets and Venus and Uranus, I'm not letting that go. That was fantastic.
I know, you've got to think about that.
I found, when you start looking, it's amazing what you find.
Uranus.
Oh, wow. Yeah, at times of. So bless. I'm getting into the room. Let's see who's in, what they're saying, Kev. Let's move on.
Quinn. Evening Queen. Freeman. That's all I can see at the moment. I don't know if you have been in charge. You might have a more up-to-date version than I have.
Yeah, Freeman's promoting a channel there, saying he's allegedly found the answer and the truth. So well done, kudos. Everybody can stop. The jig is up. The game is over. Freeman has provided the end result, the red pill for everybody. You've decided for us, and you've quoted and you've stated there. Thank you, Freeman. What would we have done without you? Bless him, eh? Everybody, applause. Get on your verandas. Sorry, Freeman. I'm in a comical mood in light of everything, and I find it hard to believe that this channel will have got the salvation and answers for all current political and thingy climates as what we're in. But I hear what you're saying, and I thank you for the effort. Watch all. We will. I take it. I accept it. I'm not having a go. I'm just sceptical in light of the years and years and tunnels and eureka moments and instruments and trusts and etc. And then here we are in
The eureka moment with the kick in the bollocks shortly afterwards.
deflating of not even
Yeah, a bit of ground. We like to call it grounding.
madness. So forgive me. That's where I come from when I say that, Freeman. It's not at you or at anybody. We are all equal, and I love and appreciate my scribes, each and every one, and don't forget that. So you are here for one reason. That's distraction, entertainment, passive learning, and to interact. Nothing more, nothing less. Not to be attacked, and that won't happen. But I have to perform for you in certain ways, and in this light, we are, in the knowledge of a military soft war, silent, with the legal and the undoing of, and how we've managed this office, and then we have the biological attack and the constraints coming upon. Kevin, I've just been on the .com, and a sister has shared something which I'll put into this video. Actually, it's got some measures, quite a startling amount of data across over 100 pages of parliamentary.uk. Okay, everybody, when I say a sister has passed us, it's a link from parliament.uk, genuine, official outlet, and it's got a dossier of what's been in the mandate for port control, border control, import, export, commandeering, emergency measures. I haven't got time to read that. If anybody is interested, we'll get the link so you can assist us as a fam and a clan to see what might possibly be going down in the bill and the emergency.
Have a look in the. Yeah. You might want to have a little look, see. There's something in there about extended police powers that should open your eyes a little bit.
That's all right. I'm sceptical, Freeman. That's all it is, and I thank you for your answer there. Well done. Kudos. Very sovereign and astute, gentlemanly, honourable, noble. All that. That's where we are, and respect. We will do so. Every little helps. Not to quote, but it really does.
Other famous supermarket slogans are available.
Ching ching as he taps his pocket.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm off.
More proof, contracted outlet.
I'm reading the room. I'm reading the room.
I have to say this.
Martin and Simon, Quinn, I've seen them. Alright, Dave and friends. Keep the clothes on. Oh, that's because of the naked moonlight at the end of the show last week.
Yeah, well, I think it's clearing up again tonight, so it might happen yet. Again, depends. It's no good if it's cloudy.
So where's Freeman saying? Do we all understand the channel? Is it for the cable 1 to 10? The channel. We'll have a look at that later. All links and things are appreciated, fam. So
I saw that somewhere the other day.
I have put some interesting things on the .com about psyops and sub-psyops and possible martial control, and how to keep the masses quietly at bay, subdued, other than the main narrative in the text, context and subtext of the stories that are going off with the viral, which is now a disease, I've noticed, not a virus. It's gone from a virus to a disease, and they are saying that there's psyops and subtext in the context here with the stories of so who knows? I'm not making a claim. I'm just saying that the outlets are saying aplenty, for you to choose what to, in times of confusion. You look for thought leaders, you look for direction, you look for security. We look for that in the faith that we have to some extent, and those without the faith are the ones that are quite confused and lost, and they are latching on to these stories. So where I've said the fox is on the equinox, what we do is we ground, we go to true north, we look at the astro theological cosmic north, we ground, we locate, we stop, we breathe, we think, and then while the rest are running around in the darkness, trying to find the exit, we will be the light that provides that pathway for the exit of the ones running around in the chaos. So it takes man to stop, to recorrelate and to restructure, and these times, these stars are another way, another language, another force, another field, a correlation, and they are of antiquities. They have got names and different positions and places and Saturnians, and it's fantastic. It really is. So while you have times, it's up to you. It's just when you look at what we've been told. All right, I started with the faith and religion, and we've gone from religion to faith, and we've looked at the forces, the invisible forces, the things that you cannot see, much like law, legal, and the lawful. Yeah, the dead all rise, and how we found these worlds. And you were talking about Crowley, Manly P. Hall, H.P. Lovecraft, cartoons, and the codes, and where we're at. So you get your faith from the universe. It's an unspoken, unwritten language, and the prayer that's been hijacked. When they get you to kneel down and cross your hands and by your heart and do this body cross upside down, effectively cross, Christian cross upside down, when you cross your body and you're in a lower state and you beg and you plead and you cry, you are not commanding and you're not vibrating highly. And what we've learned from the sciences are those that can vibrate high in a nice bandwidth, we'll say. I'm not going to give you all now because I can't. You will command and you will attract metaphysically. And the church there, with the power of intent and the law of attraction, have used that to their advantage to perpetually allow you to go to these houses of the church. And these churches, they house the suffering. And when we house the suffering, to suffer is to endure, to allow, to sustain. So we go there to sustain the perpetual repetition of our, wherever it is that you're at, spiritually, religiously, metaphysically. So there is a faith and there is a power and there is an intent, and those that know this truth, these are the ones that have been speaking out all these months before. Danger, CRISPR, HARP, modification, geo, toxins, plastics, fake sugars, chemical washed bleach, chlorine chicken, pesticides, injections, vaxes, and you've got substances, you've got more damning evidence than the naysayers. And so that's why, for one, you should take some credit from that, pat on the back, and know that the light givers, you've given the light, you've lit up the rooms already, your job's been done, and there may be some kind of closing of probation now, and it's taken out of our hands, which is it's a deep story. It's a biblical story, and the message is that we picked up there was a vibration somewhere in the realm saying, warning, warning, family needs a warning. And when we look at the books, the warning comes from above. It comes from a higher force, our higher selves. And then when the deluge comes of the floods and the cleansing and the hygiene, the hygeia is in the stars right now. We're talking about hygiene washes and hygiene. And I just said to Claudio, we've got massive amounts of data spewing out, brand new and relevant and up to the minute. So, these correlations are fantastic, and you should know that you've been chosen in some way by the universe. Your path chose you. You didn't choose your path. I didn't. Kev didn't. We're here by accident. The path is chosen, and you will be rewarded.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, well, certainly not one I would have picked. Really, it definitely picked you. I think. Definitely.
Some things are now taken out of our hands by the powers that be, and to some extent, I said privately, I've never seen so many do so much after a 3.5 year stagnant Brexit, where so many did indeed so little jack, shit, diddly squat, as Ned Flanders would say. And now it's like they're all on Amfet with strings and things up their bottoms like rockets pushing them around. So I'm not here to condemn. I'm just saying that there's a transformation in the heavens and a time and a calendar. There's a transformation on the earth, and as above, so below, and so below than as above. And this is just more indemnification and correlations of what we say. And kudos to you and your works. And this is just the beginning then of a cleansing journey. And the Gaia needs to be cleansed. Our ways need to be cleansed. Our sinful ways and syntactic ways and the synagogue. I don't know what's going on, but I just want some reassurance there that there's a lot of positivity coming from that angle, okay, compared to the Beeb and Fox and Sky and CNN and RT, Reuters, C-SPAN, Euro News, where I've been having a look. Golly gosh, they can make it look into a pantomime, can't they? So just ground yourselves a bit sometimes.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. That's my preach over.
Jerry, evening. Lisa.
What? Mother?
Yeah, mother's in. It's good we were swearing early on then.
No, I haven't watched Bernicia upload today. What go on, G-Man?
No, I've probably got one of it.
I've got now. I'm thinking what it might be about. They did announce the emergency trust is where a lot of these fiscal credits and funds are coming from. I wonder if there's some connection with. I was saying privately, like these trusts were aware of a master trust and the motu proprio and subsequent other papacy paper proclamations. Peter Papa Peter Pickle Pickle Pepper. Oh, propria persona. Sorry. And so the master trust divvied up. Maybe these trusts there, I can't see the hoi polloi putting a load away for the fam. They have offshore tax havens, lest I not forget, and hearts and souls and consciousnesses. No, I'll show you plenty of mans out there in the business realm that are not like that, and there's some that are, but. I need to do some digging on that. That's news to me. All right, those that are asking which trust, what type of trust. Yeah, I need to dig.
I haven't seen anything today, but I haven't been that active, to be honest.
Yeah, we are going to see further closures and instructions, possible orders. I've noticed that somewhere, here we go, listen to this, here's a chuckle a moment, smile mode, as Crichton said. Vienna, Austria, not Vienna, Austria. they've put the boot down and said stay in, and they've found something like 10,000. 10,000. I'm not saying anybody should follow this. I just found it comical. I thought that's a lot, that is, isn't it? For just like generalised wanderers, you should be inside, and you're only allowed out for critical things now: exercise, fetching medicine, food shopping, and that's about it. And you see, Hungary has rolled out the tanks to enforce. So there is strict. I have seen with my eye, my genuine eye. You're not, the chitter chatter of strict enforcement. So that's why mans are panic buying, because once you get told to stay in your castle, wherever that is, you are then at the mercy of. So therefore we are then obliged to follow, or there are fines, fees and forfeits that have been awarded across many continents for infractions of the public orders that are given. So that's on your persons, because they don't order man. So remember, it's still the same game as it ever was. There's no crimes here of yet. There is common law breaches possible to consider, and there's duties and whatnot. But I just thought we'll touch on that, because it's a tricky one, because you could die, acting clever here, not from a virus, but from a jumped up trooper, officer, whatever it is, and the stun guns and the sprays and the batons and the craziness of it all, and whatever it is, I don't think this is a fight that any sovereign initiate master, on the .com or even out there in the public clans and tribes should consider facing unless it's a direct threat to your rights under your unalienable rights under the creator there as you as a procreator and your property, your assets and blood. And if that comes under threat and you're not happy, then you have to calmly, lawfully, honourably, non-vexatiously look to back up stuff. And if you fight these areas, entities, agencies, let me get the right word, then you generally will lose because they have a big, pool of resources where you're a domestic, domicile, indigenous, natural flesh and blood, natural man, woe man, and then they are an officer with a policy and backups and resources and capabilities and legal undoing of the creator's laws there. So in the best interest of commerce and public and people, we are not respecters of persons, so we've got a direct clash, but we are respecters of blood. So we have that honour always, so it's your line to draw there with regards to the questions and the issues that we're getting asked and the possible reinforcement of orders and instructions too. Then yeah, that's all I can really say without getting hung, drawn and quartered. Okay.
Yes. Sorry, I was just reading Jerry in the room. I am here. I haven't abandoned
Yeah, that's
you.
all good. Yeah, crack on. It's
Jerry's saying about the Benicia upload. Was a doctor talking about electrification of the Earth in different date or on different dates coinciding with the outbreaks.
no way, really? What
Interesting.
we got links or something? Is he giving? I'm not looking at the screen right now, but link us up, Blue Mans. That is your duty and obligation.
Come on, Jerry, get with it.
No, just a channel name.
Just leave us hanging.
Yeah, don't be just teasing us with stuff that's non-tangible because we are of substance. We need to get the teeth in and have a chew on that right down to the bone now, I'm sorry, and pass it around. Bit like a massive red-eyed Jedi. Who was it? Came on 8:30 last week with the temples of Buddha. Bless. You naked sunbathing and the red-eyed Jedis. That was a good shout last week. I think we all enjoyed that. Well done.
Yeah, that Gassara stuff's been touted about. Gassara. Who knows? I'd like to think it was all these indictments and all that sort of shit happening. That would be amazing, just in itself. So there's a lot of speculation about, even as far as everything being returned to us and all the rest of it, but fantastic if it's happening. I just don't think that'll go quite that far.
There was rather a large gathering at Buckingham, wasn't there, of a stately, worldly, princely type. Have you seen, recollect the gathering of and the Pope and the such meetings of and the changing of the Home Guards, and there have been some quite key and integral appointments and movements and new appointments and etc. conferences. It's not gone unnoticed. We have seen some things that we've speculated upon because it's not our realm and we're not privy to it. That's unless it's not public, declared, then we have to read between the lines. It's not what's said, it's what's not said that we read. So yeah, it's a time, and there's a lot of guarantees there. And if you don't mind me saying, we are promoters of being proactive, and prevention is better than cure. Service for all, profits for none mentality, and we often find that we have to do that ourselves. Or if we don't enforce our rights and etc., then nobody else is going to. They're going to rinse us. So I don't see why all of a sudden the hand that's taken from us is now going to start bestowing. So It could possibly be, but I still see it as a very, very slim chance. And if we, if we focus on the positive, though, there's a saying, isn't there? Prepare for the worst, but expect the best. So I'd like just to end with that for positivity, because that's what I am positive. But we have to be realistic and also practical, pragmatic. Such things as that have given us this strength, this core strength and values, and the navigation, your heart, your gut, and your feelings. The evidences around is what we do. We accept. We don't always believe. We then have to go and substantiate, investigate, source and citate, etc. Come back and stand up and be counted for what we believe in, and you put the evidences there, your material facts of the evidence of the claim, and that's doing us good. We've learned, so we carry on like that, I'm afraid. And claims are claims, and there's another saying now: money talks and bullshit walks. So sorry, I yield the floor.
Thank you.
Sorry to offend with the BS, but
Oh,
minimum
behave yourself.
minimum's all right, Kev.
It's 12:25. It's Sunday morning.
We're on an international platform with a playback facility, so it could be any time, anywhere, for any man's.
Not our concern. Out of our realm. Someone else's problem. Just have a look at the room again, yeah. Just seeing if we've got any more information. I'd like to have a look at that video. As I say, I haven't really been near it all day, so can take a lot of notice.
Oh, we got a challenge. Challenge accepted, Freeman. From I to you to watch all 10. I am a data mining soul, so yes, I'll agree to it. Is it with reference to that channel you mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
I will give you a comprehensive summarisation of my findings or feelings. We have time. I have many jobs, but I can have in the background and listen in whilst I'm doing admin and emails. So then, if it grabs me, I'll stop everything and then give my full attention. So, challenge accepted with honour and respect. 'Tis my duty.
You have to have another week off, mate.
A week off? Is that like
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
a week off? Oh, a week off. Thought you'd gone Scottish.
No.
Heaps and tatties. You numpty. Sorry. Neeps and tatties. That's her nonna as well.
Yeah, I wonder how she's doing. They should have to. If she's got any shit going on, they should have to stop that. I say all of it should stop.
Ah, General G, yeah, let's go for that. Umbrella type cast of, yeah, we talked on the .com of this, didn't we, just?
We did, yeah. I think anybody that, really, any sanctions, what with this health stuff going on at the moment, I think that's immediate grounds for everything reinstated until this is over. End of story. Surely it's putting you at risk because you can't look after yourself properly. Health's really important, particularly at this time, etc., etc. So I think, another good case.
Yeah, all bottlenecking. It seems that the system is realising that, I'm not going to go into it all, and you've all got references that are horrendous. Okay, there's been enough horrendousness, so I think the system, the ministers, the offices, there is no government, there's no physical government building, these are just people appointed in there, places, offices to do jobs, and it looks like for the first time ever, these offices are performing satisfactorily for the time being in accordance with the conditions at hand whilst these markets crashing markets are what cattle are at, groceries are at, markets, mark, you can put a mark on, a thumb mark and a thumbprint, but crashing, that's what a vehicle does when it's in locomotion, perpetual motion and force. It crashes. You crash when you're tired, your body crashes, a system crashes, a computer crashes, it crashes, with a virus, for argument's sake there, and then you've got the stock markets, the stocks, remember what they are, where it originates from, and then they move up and down in value, monetary terms, value, yeah, and moving. So you've got the crashing of the special purpose vehicles and the contrivance and the conveyance of the market flow, currency and etc. So truly unique times where the waters and the anchor man, the banker man, spelt with an anchor though, like as in the boat, is definitely dropped anchor.
New rhyming slang, boat anchor.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I don't mind if I do. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, you could do. We also mentioned about the thumbprints on the earlier cast.
Yes, the discovery by accident of mindless chit chat of an afternoon, idling the day away. Kevin, talking about the different positions of the allograph, autograph, signature, and then we went into the realm of ecclesia with the soul's man, natural blood man, the person and the reclaiming of the soul, and then the thumbprint. Would it be red? Would it be blood? Would it be covered with a little square and so forth? And marks of beasts. And then over to you, Kev.
Yeah, and then I suddenly thought about the word prince, as in monarch, as in royalty. The thumbprints seemed to make sense to me at that word. We had a bit of an epiphany over that, didn't we?
Yeah, we stopped. We stopped the phone call. We immediately got some sharpies out and some cotton wool and PVA glue. We went video chatted afterwards, and our two thumbprints is crowned fresh that day. Had a little chat, didn't? No, they didn't, but in our minds, that's what was going on.
Yeah, thumbprints. Yeah, might start spelling it like that now just to annoy them.
And when you draft something and you finalise it, and you print, you authorize it with your print, which is a mark. It's not a print because the correct, getting into it, what is printed, it's mechanical involved and such things as. Whereas a mark, and a revelation of the three sixes with the atomic age and the subatomic and the mapping of the body, the carbon element factor I'm on about, and the beast. It does see that it's been perverted. The light, the truth, the wisdom, the knowledge, the math, the 0 point for the sake of a sick little bloodline. And I'd argue, as my brother has put there, Enki, Enlil equivalents, minimum two, at hand now. When you think Illuminati and you think I won't swear, I wanted to, these factions, all right, and all of them, everything we've come to expose and find, and Wiki and Snowden and all of them, and bless them for that. They shall be redeemed somehow. I swear it on my soul and our conscience that as a realm, we should look after the ones try to look after us. So, yeah, your thoughts?
Yes, a penny for those. Oh, you don't want all of any of them. No, they're all right. Yeah, yes. Sorry, mate, I'm sort of lost in the room a bit as well. Just keep my ears to the ground. Yeah, Jerry says, ironic that speaker's name in that video is Dr. Crown.
Oh really? That's like an agent plant name already to me. But just speaking openly.
Dr. Crown, yeah.
Yes, I.
Lives on Bar Street. DC1.
Yes, we're all good. It is a bit late. I appreciate that. We just thought we'd come and find the ones that are not at the pub because they're all closed, and it's a new time for us. It's like military effect, wartime, effect, and sanctions in peacetime.
We got into transition into spring, didn't we? That's what we did. We started just before, and then we transitioned gently into spring. Welcome to spring, everybody.
Welcome.
Hope we have a really good time, and it's really enjoyable for all of you, especially Lisa up there. She might end up with no snow.
Spring into action. Yes.
Spring forward.
Spring spiral. Direction, right ascension, meridian, ram. That's the one. Clock reset, the beginning Yeah, spring. We got 6 months of light now till the December equinox. We got the July one next, haven't we? Is it July, June,
June,
July, June,
June,
June, June? Yeah, it's
21st of
solstice.
June.
Yeah, longest day is it solstice one. Yeah, that's Bosch, Druid time, and then after that, the 3 months to the December one. Yeah, so we've got now the top half of the circle starting, and we are at the 9 o'clock position, which would be 21/3, 2020, and then obviously going from 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11, 12. But the equinoxes don't land, you'll find, on their numbers. They are, because of the length of the days of the month not being equal to each other, 28, 30, 29, etc. It's shifts, and the precession of the zodiac is in reverse, just to keep it simple. Madness that's going off here, but
Well,
each
at
to
least
their
it
own.
says it's still snowing there.
We'll see what happens for the 6 months of light. Yeah, it's Anders made a comment about, oh, what is this about the Antarctic, and is up there in Sweden, isn't close if not in the circle, Antarctic circle, and they were saying he doesn't understand why they're reporting the realms heating up, but that place is heating up double the speed, according to seismic and science, a lab that's been there over 100 years, making manual recordings from a thermometer, no computer, no digital, no fangled algorithms, a thermometer and a hut, 100 years. That's good for me. I like that. That's old school and traceable and accountable and easy, not confusing and direct, all the things we like. So they've said, yeah, it's going up quicker here than anywhere else, so there is a concern. And if there was a time for us to look at a transition system change, if it isn't delivered what we are looking for, then we will usher it in ourselves by the 21st of the 12th, 2020. Um, let's face it, when this has calmed down, it will not be a speedy return back to forced servitude after a taste of the good life in a city. In a city, good life for those that know the vibe. Yes, then they're not going to want to return to forced servitude when they know there's an easement process, an equitable discharge charge, the equivalent, entry into our world has just been access for millions in the form of these 80% salary matched, treasury. I'll speak for UK. Um, was it Rishi? So
Don't say UK.
Rishi. No, it's Rishi from the UK for the. It is. It's the UK government that's ordered through Rishi Sunak,
Oh yeah,
isn't it, Mister Secretary, Treasury of the.
yeah.
Come on, who is he? Tax. Come on, help me. I forgot
I
who
don't know.
Rishi
I can't
Sunak
remember
is.
what his name is. He's the
Exchequer,
Treasury Chancellor of the
That's
Exchequer.
it. Come on, that's him. Mr. Chancellor of the Exchequer for the United
Yeah,
Kingdom government is Mr. Rishi Sunak, and Mr. Chancellor of the Exchequer, one of the same. 80% match.
entity.
Yeah, 80% match for the ones persons in for our persons basically accounts are going to get that 80. So look at that. Yeah, the government's emergency trust fund is going to match the person's account 80% of lost earnings, up to a maximum of 2.5 grand. That is some kind of transfer endorsement we've never seen as a family and tribe from our. Like, here's the thing. Like, the news are showing at 8 o'clock thereabouts on some landmasses. They are coming out and clapping for the efforts of the medical team and the doctors and the nurses to show respect, homage, and love. Well, one day, Elizabeth, and currently the honey monster Boris, and Trump will include these three. One day we might come out and clap for you if you continue to look like you're doing the right thing, and you give us this compensation, and effectively we have our souls, everyone. Nobody has claimed any of your souls. It's a sick little dark magician sex magic trick, and it doesn't stand. It isn't real. It's what they prophesize in their world. We have got our heart, our souls, our consciousness, our intent all with us, whether they like it or not. But if we can get some compensation for the loss and what's happened to the fam and the tribe since these great days of sky gods and prophecies and interaction of Enki, Enlil, etc., if we can get some compensation, then now would be the time. And if we got that, I do believe that the whole realm would go on the streets and clap for the relief, what we say, an equitable relief, then in summarisation, and the end of servitude, and back to looking after you know, the realm and getting on, and the end of war, poverty, misery, pestilence. You know, I'm saying it like it's a small thing, equitable relief, but it involves a great, massive amount. And to do that, we would all then go on the streets, would we not, and end up clapping. After crying a little
Yeah.
bit, I suppose, disbelief, the biggest grief a man's ever known, just to like take it in.
Biggest
We come out and clap you.
reflex.
Boris, Trump, Elizabeth, it'd be like, Bosh, thank you very much, about time. We can all shut up. We can have a breath and a break.
Can I just
Imagine.
say, if anybody hears me with what appears to me being laughing at inappropriate moments when David's talking, it's because I'm reading the comments and I forget that I'm still on the mic. So I do laugh. So I do apologise. I was reading a few of the comments.
What's going on?
Oh, well, Quinn all he can picture me is now he's going outside to do naked yoga on the deck. That's got that in his head for some reason.
Woofter, eh? We've heard of your sort before. This is a local cast for local people, Quinn. Are
Lisa,
you local?
even Mum's picking on me now. Look, Kelvin, do a sun dance for me. She's got snow going on up there. I'm scared of sun. I'll block it even worse and tell her. Stay to me.
Sundance, the Sundance Kid. Yes, I. See, that's another sacred law. Look at that. Stop. Rewind. Thank you. Talking about metaphysical and the things what we go on about. Indians, let's ground it now. Let's ground it. Like the planes are grounded, let me ground you in your thoughts and connect this through tediousness. And Kev, you can then get a comment queued up again for the room. Native American Indians and the rain dance. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know if they was effective, ineffective, or how much of the percent was effective and non-effective. But let's just say they were 50-50 or just above 50-50. The fact that they managed to get some rain when they did the dance half of the time tells me there's something to that. And their power of intent and so forth, with no chemicals, harp, chemtrails, ion manipulation and weather modification. Man's focusing on one thing for their tribe and survival from the universe and Gaia. Yes, often overlooked, but we learn from the herbalists and the tribesmen as we are finding. So there's the power of intent. They knew this, mad stuff that you can't see and can't measure existed, and utilised it to their advantage. And then we, prophesize on prescriptions and injections and inoculations and hydroproxy, bloody, please, I can't even say the word, and you want me to swallow it in my mouth?
Yeah.
I can't even swallow it. No, please, is that a mandatory order, or can I say no? Because I believe eating this and putting that with that, and so just thought I'd comment on that. The power of intent, the law of attraction. It's a magnificent thing that's real. At least 50% of the time, which is nocebo, placebo. But to some of us, I'd argue that your prayers and your wishes and your attractions from your intent will be answered more. You'll be calling it good luck, having a run of good luck. And that's just being balanced, and what the West does is say, oh yes, that's luck, that's a gambit. Over to you, Kev.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking, we've been saying the start of the year's been great. There's been some brilliant results in the courts and stuff for certain, as benefit to us in regards to certain entities we have to deal with. So then, along with all this other stuff, is this all those indictments in the States, and is it, people finally going to get what's coming to them? Or is there going to be a big long build up and then we get the royal shaft again? The hope. But I believe it when it happens. I don't. It's a nice thought. It's a nice thought. That's the best way I put it. But I just don't see him giving it up that easy. I just don't.
No, not it cannot. It will not. Evil and good and the
sorry.
Yeah, what I brought to you there with the story.
It's not going to be overcome all of a sudden. Oh, right, okay, let's correct everything.
I mean, alchemy. alchemy has the equal laws of exchange, and the yin and the yang in actions, and taking and giving, and yeah, you cannot escape it. There is a relationship of balance and energy and life and etc., and it must be balanced. If we tip it in our favour, we've tipped it. It doesn't matter that it's in our favour; it will not survive and be like, it will be like equivalent to a timed exposure of life, of sustainability and performance, because it will lead to a demise because it's tipped. We have to accept the balance, the harmony, the scale, and that is where we are humble in a way now, whereas before we was perhaps vexatious and we was unable to progress any further because we was limited in our capability, both mentally and cognitively. When I say
Yeah,
mentally and emotionally, we have grown a massive amount, and um, that's because we've put up with stuff instead of fight, and we've watched great losses happen, of which are inexcusable. They're called failings, and manslaughter is, and yeah, I think there is a global, realm-wide family that have the power to step in should they, want to. And yeah, we have that though. Lest we not forget, we was on the cusp of establishing many things, in the rightful, honourable, universal, positive, natural, blood, natural man, blood, flesh and blood, etc. You know where I'm coming from here. There's no mistaking, no persons at all in this conversation, in this sentence, and we will still do that. So whether they've said, actually, this is going to be messy, it's going to be a shit show, you've got two options: let us, and etc., or you can let what's happening ensue, and they're going to take everything, and it's going to be a mess, a real mess, more so than what we've seen now with the exposure of paedophilia, Hollywood, drugs, sex scandals, political parties, failings, murders, burnings, and economic wars, and dealings of such. So that's just off the top of my head. So it's about time, and we was on that cusp. We had the little Greta there. I know the politics behind it, but we had a children saying to every adult, "Are you listening to us? We're a bit worried about when we grow up." So yeah, it's a nice time to have a system change, and if it doesn't get brought to us, then we have the power, the authority, the time, the willingness, and the consent, to do that. So that's a little bit longer, a little bit more work, but equally, the same target, objective, goal, mission will be done. The miss I on.
indeed.
It is written, prophesies, legacies, very deep. When you listen to Equin and stuff, and thought leaders and speakers, and you get into it, you become part of it. Yeah, I suppose the hero's journey, growth, and even if you don't get there, imagine this: that it was to end very shortly. For all of us, then our souls and our things would be judged upon the point of the journey so far. So it's not so much about getting to the pot of gold material wise, it's your pot of gold beyond this realm into the other paradigm where you will going to, complete your journey of this energy experience. You're going to leave that sleeve, leave the sleeve. That was accidental. We'll keep that, and you go on. And if you've
Your
not
pot
got,
of gold's the knowledge, really. I
isn't
feel
it? Yeah, the
that's your pot
temple.
of gold. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that you say, oh, but you haven't got the administrative remedy yet, Dave. Well, I'm not after that. That's just the main fundamental objective of what we've found. And to get you're asking me how we do it. How do you survive then? God's not going to feed you. No, God isn't going to feed you. But the bare naked natural trust that we entered into when our mum crowned us in this realm, that's what will feed us. The entitlement and rights to that, and that's what we've found the true way, language, and we're on the cusp of. So that's the administrative remedy, but you've still got a soul to feed. You've still got, the sleeve is the sleeve, the energy inside. It does the TDA isn't going to redeem you in front of the Creator, is it? No. So that to me is irrelevant at all times. It's just the correction, the ultimate correction, the Catholic compensation would be, that gold in that church there. Let's get it out. Come on, let's chopping it up time. Kev, you got that grinder? Sovereigns, bring the choppers. Ingots for all. That's all I'm saying.
We're going to be smelting for some time.
But Jesus and the Creator and the Christ-like consciousness don't recognize gold, you see. So much like a hard drive that's full and a hard drive that's empty, they weigh the same. You see, you can't take that knowledge in weight or anything with you. It just makes your soul grow. You weigh the same with the consciousness that you've built, but you are able to now pay your way with that. And if you haven't got that, you won't be paying nothing, will you, in our realm? And that's the payment. Ment is mind, payment, judgment,
Yeah.
all of the ments there. So, you know, it's written for you. And there's a trick, many tricks for the ones that can be easily bought, we'll say.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of that about. Easily, the love of money is the root of all evil. We've been here before, this very eve.
Power of love and the love of power.
Yeah. So, are you planning still on bringing Matthew in?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, look. What
yeah.
I'm gonna slope away in a minute then.
Oh, Revenge of the Slope. I
Yeah,
know this.
I didn't just cut my phone off and run. I'm here making a statement.
Bless you. Disclosure and honour is what you get with this man. There it is.
Yeah, I'll do that, and you can give him a call then. I'll probably hang about in the chat room, but I'm going to have something to eat. I'm particularly starving right at this moment, and I don't want it to be ultra late again.
Yeah, I'll.
Because I'm going to be up till 3:30 as it is, so at least. So, yeah, I don't really want to be any later than that. I'll have a crack on here, then it'll still be another 2.5 hours after we finish. But no, if you wanted to, you did say to me about bringing Matthew in, so I shall slope off gracefully. Say good night to everybody. Big love and thanks for listening. And we'll catch you in the week. Maybe, I don't know what's going on, very likely, and then next Saturday again as usual. So I shall disappear off, people. Dave, thank you, mate. I'll speak to you tomorrow at some point. If that's cool with you, and I'll hang about in the chat room and see what Matthew's got to say. Now you've got to keep him in line, haven't you?
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, he's got it out of his system now. He'll be back to his normal self. I think just a bit of a balancing needing to be done in times of emotional stress and loss and
you got to get it out.
Yeah, frustration. It's the 7 degrees of separation. I believe you caught him in one of the negative more areas of the separation process. So for all out there, there's a lot of loss alleged. I don't know of anyone, let me just say, but there's reports of thousands of, we look at Italy and the acclimatization, no, that's the wrong way, accumulation of the figures and how quickly it's going up, hundreds per day, if that's real. God Lord, and the souls are exiting.
Real. Yeah. 2, I say there's other factors. They do have the oldest population. The elderly population is the highest of any country in the world. So, therefore, I would expect the numbers to be higher. Underlying conditions. But as I say, this is what we're not getting. We're not getting the numbers is no good. Everybody can make numbers up.
Somebody asked me, not an Italian question like you'd think it would be now, but it's about the pasta and stuff. They said, Dave, it was Martin Sheffield says everyone's getting the pasta and that, but every bag of pasta I've seen, Dave, says made in Italia. I'm like, you're right there, it does come from Italy, mate. They do ship it straight out on the container to the supermarket shelves. So he's saying that you should be wiping down. No, I have Italian lineage, and I'm not being an insult, but if some country is producing, like Fukushima in Japan and metal and stuff, it's only the same. These things get contaminated with local agents that are in the environment. So if we've got an issue there possible, then again, prevention is better than cure. So Matt was saying disinfect and wipe down. products. And if someone's in a supermarket warehouse, and they're ill and they've coughed and sneezed, and this, I said, how long does it allegedly, I don't know, live on a surface without human, skin contact, organic material? What can it live on a tin or a packet or a box, or, in about 72 hours, and then it's the usual death mode. So I'm like, well, that's surely in transit a lot longer than 3 days. But the man that puts it on the shelf, you see, or somebody, what Matt saw was a lady coughed. I'm not being sexist, this is his words, his story, I'm a repeater. A lady coughed in the supermarket. She then didn't use her elbow or anything, it was in her hand, and she just like smeared it in the pocket. And Matt's a watcher, like many of you are, he's not a judger, alright? So he was just reporting back. He doesn't judge this woman, but he said, listen, what she did then was have to smear it in the pocket, because she's carrying the basket with the other hand, is pick up a product. And he was doing what he was doing, but he was just like, watching as you do. And then she put the product back. So then you could come along and pick that product up.
Yeah.
You see, simple as that. And then
Yeah.
you take that home, and then you've just touched that, and now you've got. And I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. Then this is, never mind a meter apart and whatnot. It's just, it's one of them things that's going to take a while, if it's real, to actually settle that. We're going to have to change and implement a lot of things. So I thought I mentioned that on the chat. Anybody OCD? I'm not here to scare you. This is science and life. So we're just being practical here. It's a real thing. And Matt, seeing a lady sneeze, like, shocked him, stunned him. He didn't say anything. He bit his lip, and he was all scholarly. But he thought, oh, do you know, this is not going to help things, is it? Tisk tisk. Yeah. Yeah. And there's like that lady.
There's Anders.
Easy, is it?
Yeah.
That lady could have been tired. She could have not been thinking straight. There's a million reasons. That's why we're not judging her. She could have been a nurse, run off her feet and whatnot. And, same as anybody, these habits we have, they're going to die hard. Hello, Anders. Much love, brother. It's going all
right, Dave. Yeah, thanks for all the shouts, everybody. Love to all of you. Yeah, I'm going to duck out tonight. So Dave did say he wants to bring Matthew in. So
all right, brother,
I'll catch you all real soon. Big love to all of you. Kelvin, that's right. Yeah, that's me. And I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Much love to everybody.
Thank you, Kev. Much love, and it's been fun.
Later on, Dave, we'll speak, mate.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Later today.
All right. Yeah, later on today. All right. Peace and love, everybody. Good night.
Kev. Much love. See you later, bro.
Bye.
Ciao. Right then, just bear with me. Chat amongst yourselves, scribes. I shall queue up the next man. See if he's ready and available. On time as well. Running well. I like it. All is well. That's the answer machine. That's not good. They always do. The best friend always rings twice. No answer. Fast on. That's what we call fast on, fam. It is me solo. I did text him as well, so let me just check. I'm going to go for a third time. 3 is the magic number. In this case, it needs to be.
This is the Vodafone voicemail service for...
Oh dear. There we go then. So maybe he'll text me. He'll get that. He's maybe out with Mr. Tez in preparation. I saw your comment there, G-Man. Matt is like a lot of useful info in a tornado. Yes, the emotion. You see, that's what I mean about different mans at different levels. Woe mans with the barriers of the emotion they play on that. The programmers, the system, the bloodlines, the lineage and continuum, the factions at hand against a sentient, soulful, natural man. So yes, we often are our own worst enemy in that respect, fueled with that energy. It could be utilised if trained, shown, loved, cared for, nurtured, etc. And that's what we respect about the fam. You're not broken. You're not a three-letter abbreviation, and etc. With these pigeonholes, you are just you are not just you are unique and specific to your path, and the path chooses, and we've come to learn each one has a unique aspect, quality, uniqueness about them to offer, and together that's the only way things will actually work. And we can look at a rainforest or an environment, an ecosystem, and the bio systems and the biological interactions of on ground, surface, sea, air, and they live in harmony and they all complement one another, and each one has a job, little and small. Example would be Egyptians glorifying that beetle there. What the angelic particle matrix team have done now is give you that scarab beetle in the form of what? Whew, just incredible. That aspect alone, what they are doing, is paradigm shift, realm shattering, deep and intense, and just ground reflecting above with the luminary stars, cherubims, halos, sarcophaguses, caduceus, everything that's in with that, material realms, mechanics, and particle angelic matrix. Just what. So each one, you see, is doing their part, and blessed be for the information and the correlation. I've seen the scribes going up now; they're nearly up to 4,000, and the videos are taking off. Translating is going to be needed for other continents, I think, for this information. But I drifted slightly. It's a nice journey, is it? Not. Lisa only gets Italian pasta. It's not messed with. She likes the quality. You're welcome, Anders. Kevin Sundance. He's gone out without doing his dance. Symmetry. Okay. No sun till tomorrow. It's on a direct line, speed dial. I like that, G. Yeah, pre-programmed responses, like the system has the pre-action protocols. The brain, the human psyche, we often respond. We often react rather than respond. So the response is the desired, natural, calm, logical, way to resolve and obtain resolution, clarity, maintenance, remedy, cure, remedy, maintenance. You play into the game of emotion and the dialect and scales. You give a pre-programmed response of which the game is fixed and the house wins 9 times out of 10, and they know what that is, and so therefore they're already prepared for that because they're the ones that have programmed you with that response. That's why it's called programming. So yes, we see the light. That was a harder chain to break in the chain link process of your cognitive dissonance, watching these media outlets and terrestrial channels and Hollywood, computer games, the whole array of the the whole array of the contents of your experiences up to now when you hear my voice, going in, okay, this exact direct moment up to press, live and direct, current, then you need to reflect on what's been put in there. And you look at how the subconscious works. It's a very delicate, simple process to program. MK Tavistock Ultra and other such projects across the realms, control spelt with a K, will highlight this. So they've learned how to advertise, market, and even the playing of the music whilst you go out into the markets of the superness are designed to make you feel at ease and make you spend more. It's all drug mind, serotonin pleasing, colour coordinate fixing, magic, sex, dark, trickery, all in the open, breaking all of the creators and natural, positive, etc. rules there and laws, and ushering in the contracts with, not willingly, not knowingly. This is what we call coercion, which is why I'm being so sharp about it. You don't coerce the fam and you make them to do stuff that they wouldn't normally do, and want and desire, but you go snake eyes on them and you turn them into a hypnotic therapy. Incredible, simple, effective. Whilst the brain itself to look at and to cut open and to microanalyze, you'd be there for eons, fathoming out what go on. But on the other side of it, when you look at the actions of the shell and the soul inside the shell with the control of the brain to get the shell to do things what you want and to go into voluntary servitude that is actually forced by design, by compromise of man being sidelined, marginalised, through his tacit acquiescence of the established fundamental basics of the realm and laws. So you ended up in a quandary here, and now is the time, if any, to set that shit right. Oh, don't leave me on my own, Kev. I hope you're in the chat room. I'm going to try Brother Matt one more time, and then we'll look at what's in the room. Maybe I'll get off. I don't know. Or we'll carry on. Not particularly tired, but I am hungry. These rations, It's too late for him. I refuse to believe he's asleep at 1 a.m. on a Saturday. He's not an early sleeper. He may be out with the pooch, so expect a nudge. And if not, I'll tell him we waited. This video is proof. Okay, see you soon, Lise. All the stars of the sky, my grandmother named me. Stars of the Sky. There's an interesting film out you've just reminded me of, about a little boy from the sky that comes down to earth. Now, what is the name of that film that I've just watched from 2019? It should be in my memory because I went on to have a review of it. Very, very uniquely referenced some frames of text in there. Brightburn 2019, about a couple that want a son or daughter, and they want their own young star. There we go, young star, that's what they want. And they're in a farm out in America, in the pastures, on the frontier, and bang, house trembling. They go outside, glowing rock, a bit like Superman now, and the discovery of the Kent, the first of the Kents, the prime Kent, the Kent of the prime Kent of the universe, the Clarkus Kentus in Latin. Kev, we need you for this bit. And yeah, it's rather like that. And they take it in, the alien boy from the ship, and they bring it up as their own, and it's got connotations and things in there from the stars and such things, and lineages and cross DNA, symbology, double diamond through the, speaking of caduceus, and such things, and codes, patterns, Brightburn, There's a scene in there which involves an eye and some glass going into it. That made me cringe. I didn't enjoy the scene with the I captain. Get ready for that. I've never seen anything about programming. I was like, that's too realistic for words. It just looks like it's really happening, not that it's make believe in a film. Wow. So kudos to the ones that go out and review resist the programming. And in this time, I thought I'd oblige to stars and the way that the media uses this language. Another scene in that same film, the girl says, "I'm too busy working 3 jobs to survive to find any time to do anything else." And that I just spat out whatever I had going around. No, I wasn't really. I didn't. But in my metaphorically, I was sipping a drink now and I spurted it out in a fountain of disgust when I heard that sentence. I went, that's a nice little bit of manipulative sub-mind programming through repetitive. You keep hearing that in films. I'm too busy working to survive, to live my life and find my soul, to redeem my consciousness or whatever. It's a repetitive, like when I say about the priestesses and the priests of the cabal with the music and the messages and the programming and the sex and the magic and so forth. It's prevalent, it's obvious, and it's repetitive. Zara Larsson wants you to ruin her life. Has she had her life ruined yet? Is she still about? Has that life been ruined? Has a wish come true? Has she been in the media, following in the footsteps of such as Britney and the generation of that famous cola drink? Amazing, isn't it? So I'll leave it there. I've said my piece. Calm waters. Oh, calm waters. We're in stormy waters now. Nice one, G, about the comments there for brother Matt, for you. Got any questions? Got any comments? Have you got anything you'd like to discuss? Thank you for keeping with the night shift alternative to Corona. This is a meeting of the crowns, of the stars, under one roof. The luminaries themselves have gathered for the procession of the crazy man David and his utterings with brother Kev. The collective has collected. I'll make a cigarette. You can have a thing. My belly can rumble. Kev, have a snack for brother D. I'm not starving, but I do live on a shoestring. I'm really happy about putting on 3 kilo just before all of this. Not to gloat, but again, something inside me so strong. Oh wow, that's a tune, isn't it? So I'm not going to try and sing that, but if you'd like to queue up Sam, who is that? I can't think, but I decided to get fit. We have had the multi-gym over a year, and I have been experimenting with a 3-day training regime, and that's ended up with bicep mass, tricep, bicep, chest, and quadricep, top of the leg, thigh mass, going up from eating 1 meal a day, a banana and coffees, going out and then coming back and having a meal, and then maybe a bowl of cereals, fibre-ish stuff, mostly vegetarian, trying to be organic, filtered water, low toxicities and free radicals and carcinogens. And then putting on 3 kilos. So I've worked out there's about 500 grams left and right chest, that's a key. 500 grams left and right bicep, that's a key. 500 grams left and right quad, that's a key. 3 kilos put on in no time, eating 1 meal a day, cutting out rammel, snacks, rammel, Sheffield word for shizen, rammel. That will go with me to the grave. Some dialect words I just take a shine to and add to my vocabulary of Anglo-Saxon babble speak. I think it's worthy of inclusions. Nice and quiet, like a summer's morning. What we got? Names. We're talking names. That's my name. They call me Tracy. They call me Soft Friend. They call me Foolhardy. They call me John. That's not my name. I have a calling. Call me whatever you want. Call me Al. But don't ask me what my name is. You insult me. I am no respecter of persons. I know what you're doing. I'm just having a little fun with you because I can. And it is my duty. Mental dexterity at all times. Flex that mental kung fu. Use it or lose it. Do not project a person on man. Oh, you believe I'm the mister, do you? On what basis do you make them claims? I'd like to rebut them all. Let's go. Names, talking. I saw name stuff. Anders means different in Germany and man in Swedish. Anders, man. I would never have gotten that. That's nice of you to share and reveal. Grazie. Thank you. Bella, Bella. My young star baked some chopped muffins earlier. Oh, they are nice. Smell-o-vision coming through, G-Man. Are the muffins spiced? And there's code. I like the code. Well coded. I think I know that code. Are the muffins spiced? Echoed by Quinn. You got it, Quinn. Now Dave's getting it. It's locking on. Look at the code within the code. Language code. No direct correlation between either of us three and the rest. And we all smile as in that satisfaction. The universal, not uniformed, universal consciousness code. The UCC. The Universal Consciousness Code. Not the uniformed commercial code. No. That's what the it is now, according to the legal eagle. But the uniformed, universal is what it was, much like that distribution media company of Hollywood. Shh. I rest my case. I drop the crystal. Drops the crystal into the Gans. Shh. Oh well. Oh dear. Get some nice cocoa butters going and enrich them coconut organic butters with such things as, then add such butters of coconut to such mixes, and magical things can happen very simply. Alchemical decarboxylation of such minerals and elements is truly not as crazy science as what it sounds. They're just big words. It's a simple process. A trained chimp could do it, you know, and that's insulting to a chimp because you wouldn't really have to train him. They'd instinctively know. I'm not comparing my scribes to chimps. Do not think that. Not unless you are rhesus positive, in which case I would have good reason to argue that you might be being rhesus positive, some kind of distant genetic genealogy connection to chimps. In the nicest possible way. Still holding 12 scribes and 8 thumbs up. We've done alright here then. No Matthew. 1 fox out of the 2 for the equinox. I will be the ox in the box, getting out of the box to replace the fox. I am an ox already because I am a Taurus. 9 May, Taurus. So the ox is replacing the fox on the equinox. I tried to keep the lingo flowing there, doing a bit of brain training, if you don't mind. I would like to freestyle MC my own. Here's me been looking for a lyrical assassin, and the universe has said you're not getting a lyrical assassin. If you want a lyrical assassin, you have to be your own lyrical assassin. Coming to the man who has an icon saying be your own hero, why do you scour the lands for a freestyle Illuminati, a lyrical assassin, much like Mos Def or Busta Rhymes, Speed there, Flip Mode Squad, Gimme Some Mo, Night Rider, Busta Rhymes, Immortal Technique, K Reno, all of these guys there with a little bit of a Kala laced in with. That's what I'm talking. Only I confuse those characters and mentalities within my capabilities of the phonetical dexterity, and that's quite a challenge. Set anybody with knowledge of them artists, styles, rhythms, musical tracks, then trying to get those beats to speed, lace, lyrics of such words, bondage, slavery. Oh wow! So I'll do my best. Peter Piper picked a peckle, pickle pepper. Was the start of the speed and the training of the lips and the vocals for that. I have an idea. Leave it with me, and then maybe me and Kev will get together and have a little DJ mix, and I'll release it that way on the top of a recognizable rhythm track to keep your toe tapping whilst I am bringing it back. Bit of controversy. Now this looks like a job for me. Now everybody come follow me, because we need a little controversy to be so empty without thee. It's the return of the wait. No wait, he didn't say. Yes, he said. What did he say? JC, the return of the Mac. That was back in the day. Mark Morrison, return of the Mac. Can I hear you, ladies? I need help. I need a guest. Wingman needed. If anybody's got my number, give me a call. You're on the show. You can wingman me. If you have a private shipping line, digits, give me a call. You get your sent on like quick. Save the scribes. We've lost one. So we're all good. I haven't had too much of a news blast. I saw how many per hour were alleged to be giving up the ghost in part of the motherland connected to my genetics. The Jeremitas and Italianos were all fam, I know that, but when I saw, I just thought I don't need to be immersed in that negative knowledge 24/7. I'll get regular morning AM. I was on the .com at 7:30 AM working and doing stuff this fine day. I'm very tired now, hence this pathway of the cast since being left on my own. I do my best, and at 7:30, those of you that are supporters of our private domain, and you can find that post to validate I was awake and on it at 7:30. It's been a long day. We've got a lot accomplished, and I update in the morning. News, information for you, and then I update maybe dinner time. Not always, sometimes. I feel the vibe, and then maybe tea time, and that's it. 3 times maximum. But then if there's something important, you miss it, Dave. Yes, I know. But I'm connected well, and I get texts and messages and such are the privy channels of, so I don't necessarily miss anything by being offline, because you look after me and double check stuff, so I can ghost and still be in the loop, which is rather nice. Thank you. So yeah, for your health, consciousness is a marathon, and some of us aren't going to make it that are here now, that are on the replay now. I'm sure you all will. It's been alleged, all right? I'm confident you all will make it. I've just said earlier, an hour ago, I remember exactly word for word what I've said, and I can quote most of it. And I said that you're all going to make it to the ones in the dark. Yes, but there is also alleged is where I'm at, you see. So I'm not contradicting anything, and I remember word for word. Did well there for how tired I am. That's the intent. When it's truth, you can remember it. When it's bullshit, it gets forgotten and they stumble. Um, uh, Losing my thread. So it seems that there may be losses of souls. For that, we need to take that seriously and pay respect until we can either confirm or deny such media claims. After the spate of fake news and whatever else, and presidents and etc. making jokes of it and playing it down, it made us wonder if at all what was going on, what reported was to be going on was really going on. Because if you get such downplay by the bureaucrats, then you can't blame us for also asking. And due we'll say, if we had a scoreboard of man's wrongs and ministers, trustees, what are they called, Congress, and government trustee, principal failures, I know which scales of which side of the board, the marks, the scales would be heavier on. It wouldn't be man and the consciousness coming out at 8 p.m. to clap in homage for local efforts put in by by medical professionals, overrun, underpaid, no food in the shopping centres when they finished the shift, quite isolated, junior doctors putting themselves at risk, possibly reenactment of scenario in one of the Gulf Wars for the United Kingdom, where the soldiers were ill prepared with equipment and didn't have the frontline services needed, melting boots on sand and such things reported under the covenants of a different prime minister at the time, a different time and space. But we see and hear, and that's just endearing. Copy that, utilise it, and show love and respect. And like I say, one day we might just be able to do that for the ones acting at the moment. And maybe it's time to, if they in this, amongst this hygiene and Hygiena, Lilith, Luna, Indigo, Wolves, Indy, I am the indigestion, I am the Indy in indigestion, my lord. It makes you take that Rennie. And these scribes and these initiates, are just doing what's right under their code of the universal natural properties there. So interesting what's being pointed out, correlations too. And I enjoy being a little bit of indigestion for the collective. What came out to me the other day? Some words for you. This is my brain. When I talk about it working without me actively working it, it does this. It goes, schools, what are schools? And it does this. And I'm not doing this. I hear this voice talking to me. I am not, as far as I know, computing and actively wanting this to happen. And it will say schools of fishes, they live in the sea. That's a school of fish. Why do they school the children? And they're fish in waters, are they? They're in waters being fished. And schools are susceptible to attack. They migrate, they are, so forth and so on. And just one random word, I saw on the headline on the news that something was being drafted as an emergency measure, and I was like, D RAF, D4 damager, D4, D is number 4, D4 damager, power to the sovereigns, back once again for the self-initiate masters of law, D4 damager, power to the sovereigns, back once again, wild child, there's no wild and there's no child, this is tamed man, total opposite to wild child, but I get back to the D and the 4, D4 damager, D4 relevant in there, straight in, codified brains from school, man, fool. D is the letter 4, it means 4, it's square, physical, such things as magnificent, involuntary, esoteric, random thoughts, of which I give to you. I'm only telling you this not to fill time or act big or clever, but they are quite relieving thoughts, magical in some ways, connecting without meaning to. Kevin the thumbprints happens with just flowing of the correct vibe. Things, nothing massive, not world changing, not life changing, but It's a discovery, the doctrine of discovery, man's discovery, not the doctrine, just discovery of man, and effort and coming together and the sharing of is what the payment reward is for that. And then we bring it to you for you to judge the judgments. Lisa, Quinn, Anders. How do you know who is the Q? Good question. How do you know who is the Q? Sorry, dyslexia, tiredness. Do you know who is the Q? Bit like Bitcoin. Do you know who invented that? No. I can openly say I ain't got a Scooby-Doo, Freeman. I ain't got a Scooby-Doo. I don't associate with people such as. I have others that go and dark and deep and then feed back to me. I refuse to associate with such energy. I reject it. That's where the Bitcoin was born, on them dark, seedy, little dirty places, and now we have the Bitcoin in open public access. It's a energy that was born out of darkness for me, and it will always be tainted, and the areas of which it is I have seen with my eye, I have never accessed, and you need to go to such other places as and get access to, and utilising such things as is very dangerous. So there would never be a way, much like the top of the chain of the degrees of the houses of Masonic control, much like the Cabal, much like the shadow areas of, much like the real Sinn Féin. It's just insane madness. You don't need to know. You just need to know what go on in Babylon, yeah, and you need to hone in and need to know how to utilize your compass, your morality, to double check, to get the answers. I teach this with Yanka when we're doing homework. She asked me a question and she looks at me as if every time I'm going to give her the answer. And when I fail, I don't feel an idiot. I don't feel that I've let her down. I don't feel less of myself. I go, we need to double check this. So what have we got that will help us get the answer? And she tries to type in the whole sentence, the whole question sentence, with the question sentence into Google, hoping this is going to somehow. But I explained to her it's only keywords we need. And when we're talking about mirrors and lights and refractions and lines of refractions and lasers and objects being projected in that mirror at a 90-degree angle, and is it going to be upside down or straight and so forth, I struggle. I'm like, hang on a minute, this is even for me at GCSE level, key stage. I'm having to say, we're going to have to, my love, we're going to have to double check this because Daddy doesn't know the answer and I don't want you to get it wrong and you need to find it out. It's your quiz and question. I'm not here to give you the answers. I'm here to help. So I'll help you find the answer. And what we do is we put in certain keywords there and we put in what the mirror and the angle and the object, and you will find eventually, after she searches, and I train her how to find something, the knowledge, but without having the direct answer and not knowing the answer, but given the material facts, which is the question, separating that, dissecting it, taking out the key parts of that sentence and grammar and etc., and putting that into and searching and refining, and one thing leads to another. Before long, she's telling me the answer. She's got an image there that looks like the image on a question, and then she's able to correlate the two bits and work out. And when she answered it, it went green. I went, so what did we learn there? And then it's like, I know that I still gave her the answer, but I helped her. So therefore, the good teacher will always make you work for it. So we don't always have answer. We don't always need answer. We can find out with the material facts, and you should be able to learn now how to balance, on par, and calm, lose the fear, the vexation, the malice, see the positives, and be taken through this exodus and cleanse. Never has it taken me so long to smoke a one-skin roll-on. Don't leave me on my own again. I'm not used to this. Being careful not to chunder on and look in the room. Yeah, Revelations are upon us, not the book of Revelations, but yeah, that's why there's been speakers and scholars and preachers and pastors and ministers and etc. all saying, yes, it's plagues and whatnot. There's too much there. It's not with pleasure. That's why I've gone elsewhere to have a look. I've thought, hang on a minute, oh, this is a bit ringing close to the bone. This is a bit true, even for me. I'm having to like take a moment, a breath. Okay, then let's ground ourselves. Let's use the teachings. Where else can I go to get data validation? Number Johnny 5, he needed data, and he didn't want to step and squash on anything again, Stephanie. So we went to the planets. We found Claudio and some others, and with his clear audio and his data and the other channels, it appears we may be right. Like a scene from the Fast Show. The other night we accidentally discovered the meaning of life and the theory of relativity and all of reality in itself, which was nice. Your kid, here we go, Quinn. This is home antics. Let's go for the home antics. And your girl tells your boy, don't ask dad about homework, cause just make things up. Wars, history, that's what the schools and everyone else does. Loud his story. Indeed, true. Yeah, I told Yanker about Thoth, Hermes Trismegistus, Fibonacci, golden ratio, Pythagorean roots of soulful discovery and anchorage. Put that in your pipe, science teacher. My dad's told me, we're already ahead of you, mate. She's 13 and we're already ahead of this narrative. Carry on. So to vex the homestead. No, what, go on. When I sent the school the email Wednesday evening excusing Yanker for Thursday, high risk category with the asthma, the school replied, the principal, and said, well done, good call, don't blame you, very good. So yeah, there you go. East Midlands flight path, very heavy. Got a top can the consulate embassy, consulates embassy home office, anybody offer insurance company curtailment, etc. Never has this situation happened as far as I know. I can't reference any historical legal like usual, so on that front I have nothing to offer for you all that are asking, and for your loved ones and the clans that are abroad and having to look at B&Bs for 2 weeks and £6,000 flight tickets. Government interjection on a national basis. I don't know how to answer that other than going on the Twitter and banding up and seeing what the rest are doing and joining up as we teach in an invoices, commercial realm invoice. So let's meet the invoice, and in our voices united, combined, the messages will be heard on your own. You're easily ignored. So I'm sorry, that might seem a bit of a cop-out, but I cannot give you what I don't have, and I can't give you false hope and false remedy. So anybody got anything in the house now, speaketh your truth, your knowledge. What say thee? And after these special purpose vehicles or these dodgems driven by zombies all start crashing into each other, and we have all these perpetual failings, for every man with a heart and a conscience and a soul, I have a message for you. What we do is we authorize nationalisation, for want of better words. I'm at ease here, soldiers. Read between the lines. We re-nationalise all of the systems, the banks. The central bank is gone. There's a new sovereign, self-initiate, so whatever, Republica, non-commercial, fully disclosed, open source, everything, no privacy, the end of international securities exchange commissions. No longer will we mix this language of securities, security guard, security force, security, and then securities as in finance, stocks and bonds. Real word, clean, no sin, national, international, AI, quantum, management, thumbprint, app, equal. I'm filling in for Matt now, the other Fox number 2 that didn't make it. The Ox is filling in for the Fox, for the ones watching it on the box. And I'm talking about Fort Knox. Yes, we could quantify this, what I'm saying, into a document proposition for all mans to agree to and authorise if it isn't delivered. So we're already working on these possible, alternatives to the raping of the animal and the plant kingdom, for these commercial resources to chew out plastic items we don't want, need, end up in the sea, poisoning all the ecological biosystems. So the systems need changing, the climate and money and finance, and as I say, there's mindless zombies driving a load of dodgems, and they crash in these special purpose vehicles to crash the markets, the locomotiveness, the energy, the sustenance, the fiat, the fiscal will be remodelled, and we should not bail these same ones out that have caused it, as in the petro industry with the pollution. They've profited from it, they can pay to clean it up. They've sold the oil, now clean it up. That's a byproduct of your profits, this environmental devastation. So with the financial devastation, all of the devastations of the constitutions of man, of the constitution of the realm, we can reconstitute it possibly, easily, accessibly, calmly, honourably, intelligently, service for all, profit for none. Simple. And it has to change. So I said that calmly, methodically. Anybody got a problem with that, let me know. Otherwise, we have a plan B, C and D. D4 Damager, power to the people, back once again for the Sovereign Self-Initiate Masters. I thank you. Remix in effect. It's live and direct. At a man's desperation, that's where comes the innovation. Alright, no book, no script. We don't know where we're going, but we're going to get there. Thank you for joining. Thanks for your time. I am not an MC. I'm just a little bit crazy and tired. I am providing a little bit of a cafe for you, I'm aware of that. A little bit of a late night Red Eye Jedi temple cafe of initiate masters, and I feel honoured and privileged. I'm in no rush to go. But the later it gets, the less coherent. That's why we have wingmen's counterbalance. Shh, the speaker. Counterbalances of conversation. Cafdel Softs. Come on, G-Man. Oh, yes, so I raised the bar. Let's get the 9 bar in the house. We got a new bar. The 9 bars are out at the Cafdel Softs. We've got a bit of time on. Has anyone got anywhere we can have a cafe? Oh, we can't even meet. Slight problem. It'll always be empty, G. Just be you in there, looking after the shank till we get in, warming it, like keeping it warm, mashing brew, bit of a Yorkshire mash and a few herbs and roots manoeuvre to the Cafdel Sov cafe where the sunshine shines with the G-Man in the corner. Quinn's fading. Me too, Quinn. I'd like to go, but I'm the host. Have some winks for me. Bless you. Thank you, bro. else we got there then? So yes, I'll be back with more updates periodically, more chats, more guests, a bit more. I have no claim to any remedies or medical advice. This is just alchemic discovery that we've done privately, that we've released publicly after the private tests, experiments. So yeah, we'll have to watch. Family abroad, clans abroad. There's no quick fix. Continents, countries closing their borders. You're stuck. That's it. There's nothing. There's no way out of it. And if a consulate from the embassy or the Home Office or anybody is not answering emails, tweets, getting in force is all I can say. I'm looking at policies, perhaps asking family, I'm here for you and I'll give you any and all options. So if you don't like it, that's not my problem. It's an option, so I've given it you. Get your family to help out, friends, etc. Do not get into debt. If possible, I'm not advising that. No, I'm just saying friends and family with access and liquidity could potentially help you out, get you back, and then you can work out how to, resolve and make it. Then I don't know what to say. That's just a life-changing amount of money. And if you've got a 2-week window and you're going to make that decision under duress and in a stressful condition, that's when the embassies and governments and such things, even the army to some extent, should step in and go, do you know what, we're the army, we're here to help, we're not here to kill, we're here to facilitate peace. We are the peace makers, if in effect, so they could put on specialised, and help out in any way. We always focus on the negative, control, destruction, but use all the resources. And if you don't, then failing to, plan, preparing to fail, failing to plan, etc. The old military saying there, conscription from war times into civil times, that's all it is. What the other continents have done with the immediate, if not within a week, say immediate fabrication of emergency care centres and hospitals to deal with. So brilliant private firms going and helping and just stopping and offering, and the acquisition of private places. We're about to see, you see, Boris said in week 1, okay, that 80%, and they want to curb that and let 80% of us be infected over a 12-month period, rather than having a traditional 3-month land mass infection and then hundreds of thousands of potential, patients needing service ventilators and critical care, bearing in mind the demographics of the infections of the alleged carry-on. So kudos to the system for managing and seeing, but it does seem a little bit too sketchy and film-like for me. I'm sorry, there's been too many films released by Hollywood with all this going off, starting with 12 Monkeys for me. If not, There's Something Syndrome, a book. There's Something Syndrome. What was that book that scared me? That wasn't a good one. That was an old one. Anyway, hype media, controversy, pandemic type releases on streaming and DVD Hollywood blockbusters that have busted our block. So forgive us if we're a bit tongue-in-cheek. Umbrella Corporation and the Resident Evil, a keen fan and addict of the all things Umbrella and corporative, to do with the evil of the Resident, in that played by Mila Jovovich, was it? Excellent, brilliant films, nothing to do with her getting naked and bits of boob, as all sci-fi films have, the girl and the nakedness and the attraction. Gore, guts, bloodshed, fractured my mind, some of them ideas. The game was one thing, you knew it was a game. The film, so if you haven't seen Resident Evils, don't watch them. you're not missing anything, and I wish I hadn't have watched them. Oh yes. Look at this, what we're saying. Quinn's going. You're welcome, Lisa. John Boy, Mary Ellen. Waltons are going to bed. It's going to be Lisa's going to have to stay till last. She's the mum lot, and then we'll say goodnight to everybody as they drop off. That might be a bad thing to promise, as we have Sweden, America, Britain. I think that's it. I might have just set myself up for a long night. 1:45. Anglo-Britain time. Maybe we'll wrap up at 2, yeah. Let's close down. 15-minute goodbye. I hope you make it, all of you. 80% week 1. I'd have been saying positive things. I'd have been saying it looks like it could possibly, but what we're going to do is we're going to protect, because we're proactive and we have a motto, many, but one of them, the main one, the top ones, and our mantra, belief, ethics and morality is prevention is better than cure. So we also understand scientific professors and academic routes, but we've disproven and debunked them time after time. So excuse us while we voice our concerns and opinion and back everything up. So I'm going to say sorry, and we'll see what go on. It doesn't look like the numbers, and I'm a numbers man and fan. This is the time when the numbers are not my friends, and they're not pleasant to look at, and they're not enjoyable, but I treat them the same. I'm aware though of the seriousness of them, of the implications that are being alleged here, and they're not handled lightly. And these are numbers that are different numbers, different energies. And you may look at me weird and say, but numbers are numbers, Dave. And yeah, they are, but when you know, it's like the money and where it's from and your conscionable actions, and when you know it's tainted, and when you've done something honourable, that feeling, you can't lie to yourself, you can lie to many, and you can pretend and put on a facade, and etc. But truth is truth, and you have to deal with that. So just remember, if I come out with a lot of data and I don't appear to be affected or taking it as somberly and as whatever, then there's many reasons for that, but protection ultimately of self is number one, and you've got to be able to be strong to be able to carry on no matter how as we've found, no matter how dark, stark, against you, etc. the subject and the content is, we've learnt to rise above and deal and handle it, carry it, the burden, temporarily. There, it's either on or it's not. So I'm sorry for what potentially may transpire. And if it comes to it, and it turns out that I've used silver water, haven't had any affliction, and we need to distribute certain elements around, then we will do our best in times, permissible by not being shackled and detained against our will, management of social contracts, agreements, etc. Then we will come into force, and we will make, this trust will make colloidal silver for free and give it away, if that's what will help. That's the levels we will go to. The ones out there helping and giving out food and whatever they're doing, then reported to be doing, yes, then kudos to them. Brings a tear to the heart, if you can imagine that. My heart weeps tears of joy. And that's community in action, democracy, faith, lots of things in action there. That politicians and money and bankers and prayers and churches and priests and ambassadors, consulates, diplomats and monarchs and messiahs and saviours. Oh wow, I could go on. This list is massive, but they haven't been able to bring that. But you and I can, overnight. Let's not fix the whole world's problems. That's getting on the right track and admitting that we have a right to live, all of us, and we need to live right. I just can't help take in all of the areas of information and portals and reference of frames of time and stories and prophecies and legacies, and yeah, I keep most of that to myself, to be fair. I just give you the bare bones to go and find, and we introduce the channels, and then you take the material facts of them, researchers and developers and theories and sciences and claims and disclosures and yeah, principles, and then we have a chat later on. So that's the beauty. These ones that we know and that we work with and that we align with have the same principles, morals, ethics, standards, and it's slowly building up. It really is. From TV to your community. See, from the TV, because as a box, you need to get out of the box, and the TV is a kind of a box. So much of a thin rectangle wafer now, but it used to be a box, and the ox is in the box, the BOX, and as Joshua Tree did say, the ox will think outside of the box. So I'm not calling you all a coward. I'm from the TV to the streets, out of the box. I'm not gone stood in the calf, just getting the text out now, brother. Boots and cats and boots and cats, boots, cats, boots, cats, chickadee, boots and cats and chickadee, boots and cats and chickadee. I'll provide the intro for the back-to-back set that G-Man and I are about to provide. You've also got Sit and Sat with the contemporary early house before the bomb, 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 bomb. Not that fast, but 7 beats, 2 quick ones, and then back onto the beginning of the bar. And then it's with the lazy hi-hats. That's very nice to mix in on a long, crackly, crisp house track. I'm thinking K-Class in particular, types of mixes and genres of vocal, funky, laid-back house with the structured, what is it now? What do they say? Progressive. When it builds up, first you hear the lazy hi-hats with the sit and sat. And you hear the bass line might come in with just a monotone bomb, 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 and the next bar, and it slowly builds up. You'll all have a tune that you like, which is a, bare naked at the beginning, and over the 30 seconds, 1 minute, will build up to the main, part, chorus, verse, chorus bars, etc. And then it drops, and then you get the full effect. Then after that drop, all of the instruments that have been building up over that 30 seconds, minute, drop into that main chorus. Verse comes back in. Chorus normally does something different with a vocal or something, and introducing a different part. But the structure of tracks is amazing when you look at them, how they are gone from, and the digital aspect of layers and music and the principles and the maths and the beats and the offs and the many hours to delegate this mathematical language and rhythm without going into Pythagorean and the standing linear cymatics. And it's very, very interesting, the styles and the way that the brain interprets. And you've got a needle on the record, and you've got all this composure levels, depth and management to listen to with your 2 ears, and you're learning to DJ, and you want to understand You need to know math, and if you're a dyslexic, ADHD, non-math expert, you'll find that learning to mix is hard, and so you have to find a different way. Okay, I'm getting to the point now. A different way, because you can't competently govern your way through tracks balanced and in the right places, because you can't work out in the clatter of the mind and the layout of the music physically projected in your mind, because it's a black disc. There's no numbers or reference points on it, but there's a track on there and you need to put it in right at the right speed. And yeah, there's a lot of art, you know, when you just say, oh, it's just a DJ, it's just whatever. But you get a good set, and many of you have known good DJs back in the day. My first club was Club Eclipse in Coventry, 1989, 1990. Laurent Garnier, Cole Cox, Stu Allen, Pilgrim, Laurent Garnier, Cole Cox, Sasha Digweed. It turned from the Eclipse, Crown, Kronos, Eclipse, first club. Just realised Eclipse. Oh, Coventry. Turned then into the Edge and went rave mental. So I was introduced to these masters. You go to a club at 12 and 14, I think, maybe, and you see the Technics masters. Laurent Garnier is a name of nobody really knows who that is, but back in the day, 3-deck wizard, Carl Cox, playing rave and trance before the hard house. If you search the history logs, you'll find a rave called the Book of Love, Amnesia House, and just mesmerised by it, you know, and I saw it for what it was, mixtures of. So yes, G, you are well versed in there. I'm coming along with some backup. Kev's just bought some toys as well. Anders has got a link for us all. Alright, brother, much love, thank you. We're down to 5. Alright, we've had some skip off for bed. That's when we say good night then. Alright. Sovereigns, equivalent to Waltons. John Boy, Mary Allen. It's only 2 I can remember. Look, I'll say the rest of the names. Say your good nights. Thank you for winging it with us. Much love to all. Watch out for more casts. Sorry, I couldn't be more help on more of the subjects. We are still waiting and reacting to, helping you respond in the best way possible, safest way. Safety number 1. The realm rests for the first time in a long time. I see great things happening. Alright, fam. Positivity, creativity, abundance. Queen is calling, Jerry's out. Painting a nice picture, we're done, it's all over. It is now. The Queen is called. Time. Alright, so thank you, much love. Stay chilled, focused, calm, relaxed, positive. Nothing else, what we've shown and found, metaphysical, is as real as what you can see and touch. The effects have been discovered and proven, and they've bamboozled us and they've defied, and you need to know that, you know, it's not so black and white, and what is an illusion. So I'm not cussing or trying to fight or bring anything up, but what is real. Yeah, that's true, you know, is real. Israel, what Israel, what is real, what is Einstein, tongue out, taking the mick, he knew something, weren't allowed to publicly say, kept coveted. So just remember, as bizarre as it sounds, your belief is an important part of you, and if you lose that belief, you start to lose you. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Mindfulness, it appears there's a need for clarity, for a bankerman, BANCHOR, and I will be that anchorman, bankerman, whatever we need to be, and to help induce clarity, calmness, order, but structured, natural, positive order, not the orders of a military faction coming from chiefs of staffs, etc., under emergency measures. No. What? Good night, blessings, stay strong, and we'll see you soon. Alright, 2 hours 10. Don't know how we do it.